aspect, which is having a personality behind, it is what is actually manifesting this knowledge, right? So my spiritual master, he was very much renowned and respected, and he received these 3 prizes. The first Ambassador of Peace in Birmingham, UK in 2003. Then in 2005, the World Peace Flame in New York. And then finally, also in 2005, he received the Spiritual Master of the Millennium, which is called the Yuga Acharya, that was given by the World Religious Parliament in New Delhi. And that prize was created actually only for him. Before and after, no one got it or will get it. So that shows how he was respected, how he was followed by many, by so many different religious authorities, political authorities, scholars, everyone. Those who really were living inside of the core of that tradition. And he could have been very famous, but he never wanted to invest in his own propaganda. As we see many famous Indian gurus, they invest a lot in their own self-promotion, but that is not the mood of the real saints of India. They don't like this type of approach, but despite of not being that much famous or popular, he was actually very much important, and for many generations to come, his legacy is going to be studied and followed. So today, by taking his blessings, I will begin our presentation. So very well, we have 3 reasons to become vegetarian, basically. In order of importance: have compassion towards animals, environmental impacts, which also involve other species that are going to be affected, and thirdly, health issues, because it only relates to us directly. So this is not the prominent reason why we should become vegetarian, right? So let us analyze each one of these, and but I will begin from the other way around. I will start with health issues, environmental impacts, and leave the compassion aspect to the end. That is going to be connected with the spirituality itself, right? All right. So as part of the environmental impacts, we have deforestation caused by the expansion of pastures and land for the cultivation of grains for animal feed. The burning of fossil fuels for the production of fertilizers for extensive agriculture. The transportation and processing of animal products. And the contamination of soil and groundwater by fertilizers and animal waste. So these are the major causes for nowadays environmental disasters, and a huge burden for the earth itself. A huge burden. Approximately 800 million people could be fed with all the grains used by livestock farming in the US annually. 70% of the grains produced in the US are used to feed animal farms. So if we, instead of feeding the animals with soya and corn and any other thing, we would give that to humanity, to people, we could easily eradicate famine and hunger in this world, easily. So actually, famine, hunger is not a real ecological or social thing. It is actually a political thing. But nevertheless, if we change our habits, automatically that demand is lesser, and automatically the environmental impacts, they will be also much less. Now the health issues. Toxins present in the animal's meat, all kinds of toxins. Toxins from antibiotics, toxins from all sorts of medicines they have to take, toxins from their own metabolism. When they're being slaughtered, they release in the bloodstream a lot of poison, a lot of chemicals which are produced by their stress, by their fear, and everything is released in the bloodstream, and then you are going to consume that. So how to expect to become peaceful, patient, tolerant, and affectionate if you are feeding yourself every day with such type of energy or food. The rapid putrefaction during digestion. It means that our intestines are not made for meat process. Later on, I have a big chart I'm going to show you comparing the physiological aspects of humans, animals, that will show you that we are completely vegetarian type, biotype. So the meat, because it's lacking fiber, cannot quickly be evacuated because the carnivores, they have a very short intestine. Very quickly they can expel, but we have a very long, 7-meter long intestine. So that is for absorption of water, absorption of nutrients, so much process of the proteins, of the vitamins are being there produced. Then the meat will putrefy inside, it will rot inside. And it's very difficult to come out, and by staying there longer, it gives a very high risk of cancer and so many other type of diseases. And of course, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, cancer, and heart attack. These are all related diseases of the consumption of meat, especially red meat, cow's flesh, and other red meat animals. So nevertheless, the position of the American Dietetic Association is that lacto-vegetarian diets, including vegan diets, are healthy, nutritionally adequate, and can promote health benefits such as the prevention and treatment of diseases. Both are recommended for any individual at any stage of life, including pregnancy, breastfeeding, childhood, adolescence, and even for athletes. For most of human history, the majority of humanity has survived on a ovo-lacto-vegetarian diet. So this is a text from American Dietetic Association. What does it mean? Those who claim that we need meat to survive actually are not observing history properly. How difficult it was to hunt an animal. How difficult it was to dwell in places where there was no actually even animals to be hunted. And to keep animals, it was also something only for the rich people. So most part of humanity, for the most part of human history, actually not survived by taking only meat. Survived by grains, by fruits, sometimes by eggs, like that. Some places by some insects, like this. So meat is not a mandatory thing. In the way we consume meat nowadays, this is completely, exaggerated. It's beyond necessity. Beyond necessity. There is some studies that, like the quantity of meat that Americans consume could feed the whole world maybe twice or thrice. It's like it's a completely, out of purpose consumption of meat. So here we go. We have this chart that shows in one side all the different features, physiological features. Then we have how they manifest in the herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and in humans. So for instance, the facial muscles. In the herbivores, it is well developed. In the carnivore, it is reduced. In the omnivore, as well reduced. But in humans, it is well developed. The jaw. In the herbivores, it expands angle. In the carnivore, it does not expand. As well as in the humans, it expands angle. So what you're going to have here is always the match between humans and herbivores. Okay? Like the mouth opening versus the size of the head. Herbivores have a small, but carnivores, they have big. The canine teeth, the so-called canine teeth, In herbivores, they're very short or none. Same as in humans. Some people call this a canine teeth, but this is very far from being a canine teeth. This is just some pointy teeth so that we can break some nuts or, cut some small things. But if you try to break apart a piece of raw meat with this teeth, you can't. You cannot break apart a piece of fresh meat with this teeth. You cannot. So the only way humans can consume meat actually is by cooking it, by seasoning it, by adding so many things. Otherwise, we cannot tolerate the consumption of meat. We cannot tolerate. So in this way, you go from saliva, chew, intestine, stomach acidity, liver, kidneys, nails, all the features, if you compare, humans are in a herbivore side, all the ways. But then someone may ask, but we are eating, we are surviving, we are getting stronger. Some people, even they do only meat diet and they cure from many types of allergies and things. Okay, there are also people drinking and living till 90 years old. People are also smoking, using drugs, and also living very long. So that's not the point. And that is now where we stop analyzing the health issues and then we come to the point of the compassion for the animals. We can survive doing many bad habits. People can smoke their whole lives. Doesn't mean that we are mean to smoke or we are mean to use drugs or alcohol like that. In the same way, you can consume meat. Maybe you'll be healthy your whole life, you consume meat. So therefore, that cannot be our main focus, to only analyze the aspect of health issues or even environmental impacts. So then we come with the famous protein myth. Where will I get my protein? You can ask these guys, where you get your proteins? These are 100% herbivore animals and the strongest animals in earth. For them, protein comes from vegetables, from plant. So for us, it will also be like this. Actually, we have an excess of protein in our diet. Excess of protein, not lack of protein. And especially if you add the animal protein, then it becomes even much more than what we need. That's why people are aging very fast. One thing is to be alive. Other thing is how young you look, how fresh you look. You can live, but how much you're gonna age by excess of protein intake? It is so much, right? So there is no such a thing that we need proteins to survive. There is no such a thing, right? All right. So now coming to our main point. This was just some introduction to situate ourselves better. Compassion to all living beings. This is the basis of humanity. Because we are superior. We are far superior from all the other species. And by being superior, it gives us a bigger responsibility as well. So for instance, animals, they cannot do philosophy. They cannot practice history. They cannot practice religion. They cannot practice meditation. They cannot question about their own existence. They are just moving by instinct, right? But humans, we don't have instinct. We need education. We need to learn how to be human. We need to receive values. We need to receive input of examples. We have to follow a culture to really become humans. So that is why you see even differences between humans. You see that there are humans more civilized and humans more uncivilized, looking like animals, very close to animal behavior. Like the tribal people, they are always imitating the animals, the sound, the movement. They live almost like as if they were animals. But as you progress, as you evolve, you're going to come to a very higher understanding of what is to be human, what is to develop the human propensities and qualities to the highest degree. So that is the challenge of education. That is why you come to university. That's why we approach our spiritual master, because we want to develop human qualities to the highest extent. And please don't take my words otherwise. That doesn't mean about being good or being bad, or being lesser important or more important, comparing the human types. No, I'm talking about developing the human faculties. It means language, it means arts, philosophy, history, self-care. There are so many things, and especially our relation with God, right? We can go to architecture, engineering. We can go to so many aspects of human life that can be developed to a very, very high degree. So just to give some examples of famous vegetarians. So first I chose Albert Schweitzer. He's a German philosopher, also Nobel Peace Prize. And he says, until man expands the circle of his compassion to all living beings, he will never find peace. So here he's putting a moral rule. Now he's saying there are differences between humans. Those who subdue, those who slave, those who kill other animals, other entities, they are moral inferior. So what I was telling you before, how to bring humanity to the highest aspect, you have to include vegetarianism. You have to include compassion to others. So this is actually one of the major aspects of being a real human, is to understand that all living beings, they have right to live, they have right to be happy, they have right to wait until they die in a natural way. How they will take care of their offsprings, how they will just be able to be and exist. That is the epitome of freedom, of respect towards any other living entity. So to kill a living entity just to fill your belly, since you don't need actually that, this is cruelty, right? But how can we understand that? We have to be educated. And I'm very glad that all of you came today, giving some, attention, some time of yours to come and maybe listen something new, get more information, get more educated. This is very, very important. Always keep this curiosity, always keeping this open mind set for learning more. That's the only way you'll be able to really advance and qualify yourself. So the next one is George Bernard Shaw. He's a famous Irish writer, also Nobel Prize. And he said, all animals are my friends, and I don't eat my friends. Is a very important aspect of the selective affection that humans have. Oh, I love my dog, I love my cat, I love my parrot. Nowadays they have many different types of pets. I love my mongoose, I love my iguana, I love whatever exotic animal they have. But that other animal I can kill, no problem. Why is that? No emotional connection, no love. So it is a problem. When you cannot expand your love to each and every creature in this world, there is a problem with your love. Your love is defective. Your love is conditional, selective, selfish. Oh, I only love those things which make me good. Otherwise, they have no meaning for me. They can be annihilated. This is a very degraded state of consciousness that humans are nowadays sharing. Very much. But somehow there is a hope. There is a hope that the vegan movement, vegetarian movement, they're growing, and hopefully in the future we're going to be majority. I don't have any illusion that everyone will be vegetarian. That's not possible due to human nature, and I'm going to explore this fact a little bit further in the lecture. But at least we can grow in number and make things much better for us, for the animals, for the planet. Then Albert Einstein, German physicist, Nobel Prize as well. Nothing will benefit human health and increase the chances of life surviving on the planet more than evolving towards a vegetarian diet. Einstein has a very interesting story about it, because actually he became vegetarian in his last 2 years of life due to some ulcer and some stomach problems. He struggled his whole life with stomach problems, ulcers, and many things. So finally he agreed to come to the vegetarian diet, because he was always afraid, if I don't eat meat, I'll be weak, I will be having anemia, many things, many type of diseases. But when he gave up meat, he told he lived the best years of the last 2 years of his life. And then he began to realize many things. So whatever he wrote about vegetarianism was in his last year of life. But nevertheless, there was a shift of paradigm. And that's very important for the future generations to come. Then we have Leonardo da Vinci, the Italian painter and inventor. From a very young age, I have rejected the consumption of meat, and a day will come when men like me will see the killing of animals in the same way they see the killing of another man today. This is the highest moral for humans, not to judge between the death of an animal or of any type of other creature and the human being. Everyone has a right to live. Everyone has a right to be happy. This is the greatest respect we can give to every living entity. So, now coming more to the spiritual aspect, we have in the Old Testament in Genesis, and God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which it's the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." In Old English, meat means food. Meat means meal, right? So it does not mean that he's saying the herbs, the seeds, that should be your meat. That should be your food, right? So there are so many types of interpretations to these statements, and even there are many Christian groups that are vegetarian. I listed some of them for you. And there are even other groups who say that because of the flood, Noah, he received order from God that from that point on they could eat meat. And that is this statement in the Old Testament as well. So they have this type of contradiction in their views, because some believe, okay, that was just for some time that God allowed us to eat meat, but we should come back to the vegetarian diet because now we have a very easy way to live. There is no more struggle to live, right? So these are some examples of Christian societies that are strictly vegetarians and sometimes vegans. Like St. Francis of Paula, he founded a vegan society a couple of centuries ago. So the Seventh-day Adventists, the Order of Minims, which is actually a sect from the Franciscan order, right? Interesting to note is that St. Francis, he was not a vegetarian. Although he is most famous for loving nature, loving things, loving all the beings, he wasn't actually strictly vegetarian. He adopted some vegetarian diet for some time, but not always. Not always. But the sect of the Minims, they are strictly vegetarians till nowadays. So we also have the Bible Christian Church. We have the Ebionites, which is an ancient Jewish Christian sect that are completely vegetarian, and the Cathars, which is also a medieval group, completely vegetarian. So actually we will find in every major religion groups of vegetarian people. Now, in the Islam tradition, in Hadith is said, Allah will show mercy only to those who are merciful to all living beings. Surprising or not, there is a Islamic vegan society. And they advocate and they preach that everyone should not kill animals. But you know, Muslim tradition is uh, strongly slaughtering many goats, especially in Ramadan time, for the pleasure of Allah. They will cut their throats. They will make that swim pool of blood and many things like that. But there are so many Muslim groups that they don't follow it, especially the Sufis. You heard about the Sufis? They're like the mystical Muslims. There are many Sufis groups that are also strictly vegetarian. Okay. Then we have from the Buddhist side, in Dhammapada, Buddha said, all tremble at violence, all fear death. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill nor cause another to kill. Same way in Buddhism, two sides. One group will say we have to eat meat and we can eat meat, like the Theravada group. The Theravada group, they believe that whatever the monk gets as a donation from his begging, he has to accept. Because by accepting that, he's blessing that family. But there is one condition. He cannot see the animal being killed. He cannot hear the screams of the animal being killed, and the animal should not be killed for his service. If there is all this checklist, then he is able to accept that meat, right? So, but the Mahayana group, they say no. We cannot cause any type of suffering to any living entity, therefore they keep themselves vegetarians, right? Nowadays, majority of the Buddhists, they eat meat, majority. I have visited many countries in Southeast Asia and so many other places in the world, and what you see is like a big trucks of chicken, being just delivered every day. They eat a lot of meat. Especially also Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama in his group, the Tibetan Buddhism, they are not at all vegetarian. Dalai Lama once he was asked, are you vegetarian or why are you not a vegetarian? And his answer was very straight. He said, I am a Buddhist monk, not a vegetarian. I mean, I have nothing to do with being a vegetarian or not. My business is to be a Buddhist monk, right? So in this way, we have many types of understandings of that practice. But very important to explain to you one thing. There are two Buddhas which are being considered the founders of Buddhism. Not everyone knows about it. The famous one is Siddhartha Gautama, Sakyasingha Muni. He is the so-called founder of the modern Buddhism. But before him, 1,000 years before him, there was the first original Buddha, which is actually an avatar of Vishnu. And his name is mentioned in the Vedas. And he came, his mission was just to establish vegetarianism. And what he did, he preached to the Brahmins of Vedic culture who were actually being corrupted and started eating meat. So the first Buddha created Buddhism by taking all these Brahmanas out of the Vedic culture and making them strictly vegetarians and giving them the philosophy of ahimsa. You heard about ahimsa, right? Non-violence. Later, 1,000 years later, Siddhartha Gautama, he took birth in Nepal, not in India. The first Buddha is from India, from Gaya. But the second one is from Nepal. He was the prince. And there is that whole story that he came out of the palace, started to see the world and things like that. Then he decides to renounce everything. Then he goes to Gaya. Then he meditates under the same tree that the original Buddha appeared. And then he became enlightened. And then he started to preach Buddhism. But his philosophy was no longer based on ahimsa or vegetarianism. He was the one who allowed them to begin eating meat. And his philosophy was the Shunyavada, means the emptiness. To achieve nirvana means to go in the void. But the first Buddha, his preaching was not like this. His philosophy was bhakti, devotion to God. So completely different stories and preachings, but nevertheless, they are being mixed, and people are getting so much confused, and even they don't know about it. How many people here knew about the first Buddha? Oh, nice. Nobody, only one, you see? So if you want to go deeper in this subject, we have books about it. You can just download from our website, purebhakti.com, and you find all types of books and knowledge all for free. Okay? So this is my Gurudev holding, caressing the calf, and only the very, very traditional Hindus, as we call Hindus, the Sanatanis, Sanatan Dharma, those followers of Sanatan Dharma, which is the real name of the religion, is not Hinduism. Perhaps you don't know, the word Hindu was created by Alexander the Great when he invaded India, and that was backed up by the Muslims when they invaded later on in the 12th century. But for us, there is no such a word Hindu in our scriptures. The word for our religion is called Sanatana Dharma. That's actually technically not even a religion. This is actually a major doctrine that encompasses a couple of religions inside. So this is a culture, is the only culture that created religions like Vaishnavism, the one I follow, Shivaism, Shaktism, Yoga, and so many others, Sikhism, right? While all the other religions, they created their own culture. So you have the Christian culture, Jewish culture, Buddhist culture, Islamic culture, but Vedic culture is different. You have the Vedic culture, which anyone can follow without adhering to any type of religion. You follow yoga, you follow Ayurveda, you follow Vastu Shastra, you follow so many things which are Vedic, but you are not signing up to any religion, right? But you can't do these things with others because their life comes from their religion. So this is showing the richness, the vast approach of the Vedic society, Vedic culture. So you find only in the Hindus. I will use the word Hindu anyway. You only find in the Hindus the pure vegetarianism, strict, and the respect for every living entity more than any other type of culture. One time, my Gurudev, he traveled around the world 33 times in 14 years. It was a lot. Up to 90 years old, he was traveling and preaching. In one occasion, he was in the Vatican. He had an appointment to meet the Pope. While he was waiting in the reception, whatever, some room, he was waiting there. There was a garden, like this inner garden, the whole winter garden inside of the house, inside of the palace there, the headquarters of the Pope. And there were many calves jumping and playing there. And Gurudev immediately, when he saw that, he remembered India, he remembered Vrindavan, mother cow, and everything. And then he asked to maybe the secretary, someone which was there, say, "Oh, you love so much the calves, you let them play here inside. How is that?" And the guy told, "Yes, the Pope loved them. He eats them every day. He likes the very soft and fresh meat of the calves." Gurudev, he stood up and he left the place without meeting the Pope. He was so disgusted by hearing that he left. I say, why I should meet this person? This person is not even having the minimum standards of civilized human being. What to speak of being the servant of God? What to speak of being someone who is speaking in the name of God? So does God not have equal vision for all the living entities? Does God not love all the entities that He created in the same way? So who are we to speak in the name of God and judge who should live and who should not live? So my guru, he just left. Now quote from Yajurveda, one of the 4 Vedas. O human, animals are agnya, not to be killed. So this is a straight order from the Vedas. Animals, they should not be killed. So this is a very interesting thing. The word meat in Sanskrit means mamsa. Mamsa is 2 words combined, mam and sa. Ma means me, sa means to eat. So in ancient times, if someone would like to eat meat, he had to go in the ear of the animal and what do you say? Whisper. Today I will eat you, but tomorrow you will eat me. So there was at least a sense of minimum acknowledging that, okay, I am sinning, I am committing a crime, and I am allowing you to do the same to me later on. Of course, this is not ideal at all. But this is how to understand that in ancient times, even to kill that animal, there was a consciousness that, oh, this is bad. It should not be done. But anyhow, I have my nature, I have my propensity, and I have to do it. And I will tell you something very shocking. Although the Vedas declare that no one should eat meat, the Vedas also explain how to eat meat. Why is that? Because Krishna, he is not innocent. Krishna is God. Krishna knows the heart of everyone. And he knows there will be people who need to eat meat because their nature is tamasic. Their nature is in ignorance, in darkness. They like suffering. They feed themselves out of suffering. So he knows future. So what he did, he said, okay, for those who cannot give up meat eating, there is a rule to eat meat. You have to speak mantra. You have to kill the animal in such and such moons, in such time. You have to, do a lot of rituals to liberate the soul of that animal. We have to make a fire sacrifice, not only to make a fire to cook, like a fire sacrifice with mantras, with things. So to make that more difficult. But nevertheless, people, they have their own independence. They can do whatever they want. Same thing for alcohol. It is forbidden to drink. But nevertheless, by knowing that people are going to drink, there is also instructions for how to drink alcohol, how to smoke marijuana. Right? People claim the Shaivites, those who follow Shiva, they smoke marijuana. There are rules for everything. Why? To make it difficult, so people will do it less, right? But as ages are evolving, people are losing contact with the scriptures. Therefore, they lose track of all these, sacred practices, and they just go to supermarket. They buy a packet of meat. They don't have any connection. From where it came? Who is this animal? What is that? They're just buying, just like they buy any type of biscuit, and they just cook and they eat, right? But that's not the way that it should be. So in this picture, you see the guy who is cutting, he has a cow face, and the cow has a human face. It means that by the law of karma, if you slaughter an animal, he is going to slaughter you in the next life. But now comes the question, if I am slaughtering many animals in one lifetime, not only one, how do you altogether take my life in the next life? Or I have to come as many as there are animals behind me to get back that karma? Say yes, you have to born again and again to pay. Karma cannot be skipped. You have to pay it. No matter when or how, you have to pay it. But there is a way to come out of the cycle of this karma. First thing is to stop eating meat. And you know why people have desire for eating meat? Revenge. Remember, you were a cow in your previous life. Someone killed you. You want to take revenge. You will have anger in your heart. So therefore, intuitively, you go for that killing. So what you have to do? You have to exercise forgiveness. You have to say, I forgive all those who caused problems to me, all those who killed me in previous lives. When you clear your heart from that, then you are free to become a vegetarian without having any desire for eating meat again. And by that forgiveness, automatically your karma can also be cleaned out. So you have to repent. If you do not repent for what you did and don't forgive others for what they did to you, you get stuck in the cycle of karma. You be coming, going, reacting, and then again coming, reacting, coming, like that. Okay? All right. So now we're going to come for a very specific aspect, is to learn more about the cows itself. We talk a lot about meat, but there is also the milk, especially for those. How many vegans are here? Raise your hand. No vegans? Okay. Any vegetarian? Great. But you drink milk, cheese? Milk, cheese. Okay, nice. We also. So I'm going to explain to you all about cows, all about milk, and why is it so special. So first of all, differentiate between European cow, which is on the right, and the Indian cow on the left. The Indian cow, this milk is called A2. The classification of this milk is A2. This cow has a hump on the back. It has the flap in front, and also has the descending tail on the back. The back descends. There is a curve, right? The European cow has none of these three qualities. So that is what makes the difference between these two cows. And the hump on the back of the Indian cow has a particular nadi. You know what nadi means? Nadi is a channel of energy, like the meridians when you learn in acupuncture or things like that. So there is a particular nadi called Surya Ketu. That nadi produces gold, and that gold goes in the milk. And that same nadi also produces copper, and that copper goes in the cow's urine. Therefore, the Indian cow gives everything beneficial for us. The milk, the urine, the dung, everything can be used for medicine. So Ayurveda uses largely the ghee, which is made out of the cow milk, uses the cow urine, and you also use the cow dung. But the European cow, you can't use. Why? Because there is a disbalance on the casein protein, which causes the allergies and the intolerance. Before, it was never heard in India about milk intolerance or lactose intolerance. Never heard about it. It started where? In the West. Because that cow is not a perfect cow, not a pure cow. It was like a blend, like a type of mutation that happened. It became like a bad cow. But it gives much more milk. As you see, the European cow gives 25 to 30 liters. Actually, some can give even up to 50 liters per day. While the Indian cow gives maximum 10 liters. So for industry, largely European cows are being used. Even in India. In India, all the dairy factories are using European cows. Indian cows are only protected in sanctuaries, in farms of devotees, of people who live a very religious life. They protect and they produce there in a small amount, and some can sell, some are just consuming that like this. So that's the first myth against milk. Milk is not bad. Actually, milk is one of the best food we can have. And why the cow is so sacred? We often hear the cow is sacred, the cow is holy, right? Why is that? Because according to the Vedas, all the demigods, all the devas, they reside in the body of the cow. So when you have a cow at home, it's like having a what to say, a small, divine type of temple inside of the cow's body. So the cow is like a moving temple, right? And so also the cow is considered to be one of the mothers. According to the Vedas, we have 7 mothers. Our biological mother, we have the nurse, we have the cow, we have the queen, we have the wife of the guru, like the Brahmani, we have Mother Earth, and one more.
Please.
Yeah, I told, yeah. Wife of the guru, yeah. And then wife of the Brahmana, both. 7 mothers. One of them is Mother Cow. Why? Because the milk of the Indian cow, it is almost identical to the human's mother's milk. And you can save any mammal by giving that milk. It's the only milk that fits very, very well to our constitution, right? So Surabhi, as you see, this is the name of the divine cow, the original cow, which is in the spiritual world, in God's abode. In God's abode is full of cows. Krishna, he's the lover of cows. And I'm going to show you some picture. Krishna has one name which is called Govinda. Go means cow. Vinda means to give pleasure. So Krishna is the one who gives pleasure to the cows. So the service to the cows is actually the very core of the Vedic culture. Because with a cow, you can maintain each and every aspect of human life, from religious to social and to also dietetic. So here we have a beautiful quote, we are about to conclude, from Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is one of the most important gurus who brought this movement to the West in 65. And he said, "The protection of cows maintains the most miraculous form of food, that is milk, for maintaining the higher tissues of the brain, for understanding higher aims of life." This is something very remarkable. You know how to drink milk? Milk has to be warm, from warm to hot. You have to add turmeric, means saffron, and a little bit of honey and black pepper. The yogis, they only drink that so they can go very deep in their meditation. Because the pure milk, you nourish the most fine tissues of the brain that are allowing for you to have the most subtle understandings of life. Why is that? Because milk is the most sattvic food. Did you hear about sattva, rajas, and tamas? The 3 modes of nature. Everything in the world is based on these 3 energies. Sattva means goodness, rajas means passion, and tamas means ignorance. So milk is the most sattvic food, as well as cow is the most sattvic animal. If you embrace a calf for 10 minutes, you clean all your aura. All your magnetic field around your body is going to be clean and harmonized. Only by 10 minutes hugging a calf. That happens also with human babies as well. That's why mother, when she's taking care of baby, although she does very hard work, she does not collapse, because baby is also feeding her with this magnetic aura, this field. And the cows have naturally that. So therefore, if you keep a cow, or if you visit like a cow shed, how do you feel? You feel peace inside. And the smell of cow dung, please, never mind, is a very sweet fragrance. It's a very delicious fragrance. Because it's very sattvic. It is not like stinking like a other type of animal feces, not like, right? So that is why milk is very important. So milking the cow means drawing the principles of religion in a liquid form. Panchagavya, the five products received from the cow, namely milk, yogurt, ghee, cow dung, and cow urine, are required in all ritualistic ceremonies performed according to the Vedic traditions. And the ox will also help to plow the field, will help with that work. And this is how we have to understand one very important point. The argument of the meat eaters is that humans have to serve humans, animals have to serve humans, therefore we have the right to kill them to survive. Isn't it? This logic is not totally wrong. Animals, they must serve humans, yes. But how and why? Because humans actually have the responsibility of having a higher moral and spiritual understanding to help animals in the service of God. So we should engage the animals in service of God. So how is that? If the ox plow the field, whatever grows there, you bring to the temple, you offer to God, everyone is getting benefit, including the ox. If you bring the cow's milk, you offer first to Krishna. The cow is getting directly benefit, spiritual benefit. And what is the result of that? The cow will take birth as a human in next life. So the chain of service, it happens, but in a very, compassionate way. We should help the animals to be able to evolve because there is a soul inside of that animal that needs to become a human, and only in the human body you can do religion. Only in the human body you can actually be able to stop the cycle of birth and death. Only in the human body. So we have to help all living entities, like the bees, for example, by taking the honey. First, offer to Krishna that. You purify the whole bee community, yourself, and whomever is going to take the honey. So now there's a quote from my Gurudev. He says, "What is the meaning of unity in diversity or diversity in unity? If there is no faith or love for God and for all living beings, we must try to understand this fact and try to show love and affection for all human beings, animals, trees, and plants. Vedic culture teaches that if a field has been plowed, you should not walk on it. A seed has been planted there, and if you walk on it, the seed may die. Do not cause suffering and pain to anything or anyone." So this is how I thank you for giving your attention today. If you are interested in following more, you have my social medias, my contacts. And please, if you have any question, you can make it.
I have.
Please.
So, in case this I would like negative to eat animals, isn't it kind of hypocritical as well? Like, I mean, in the sense that even if you would like to do tea for yourself, to plant a tree, to plant a tea, you kind of need to work with the earth.
Very good question. I already understood your question.
I'd like to finish it.
Yes. Okay, no problem.
So, animals die inside, and then
we kill animals. We kill animals, yeah, while we are producing our own vegetarian food. Yes. Yes.
So this is one thing. So at the end, you kill animals anyways.
Yes.
Even if you try not to kill animals, and it is even worse. Even the cotton, you like wear on yourself. Also, the production of the cotton has the same actually energetic imprints.
What is that? Sorry, what is that?
Cotton.
Oh, cotton. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the energy of the killed animals is even there. So it's almost like you have a blood on yourself.
Yes.
Energy.
Yes. So
it's actually hypocrisy.
What is the solution, you mean?
Like
You asking?
It's problematic to be innocent.
It is not. I will explain you why. So it is true that according to God's nature, one entity lives out of another entity. This is a fact. Like the plant has also life. I'm harvesting it, I'm taking it also. But the thing is, so first of all, you believe or not in God's instructions, what we should or should not do. That is the first reference for our moral conduct. So what is sin, what is not sin, depends on what God approves and what He does not approve, right? So, second thing is that there is a killing out of necessity, and there is a killing out of enjoyment, right? So, in the Vedas, it is described that when you're plowing the field, when you're cultivating the field, you're killing entities. When you're cooking, you're killing entities. When you're cleaning the house, you're killing entities, small insects, whatever is there. But nevertheless, these activities, they have to be performed. There is no other way to skip it, right? So while you are doing those activities, you have to be offering that to the service of God. Because only if you offer to God, you can purify this whole chain of process. And this is the major point that separates us from the common vegans, is that even if you have a organic, biodynamic vegan diet, still you are eating karma because of the debt involved. So the only way to come out of that is offering that food to God. So by then you can close that cycle, and then you can get purified from the karma of that process. But this is part of life. We cannot change that, right?
How you offer your food to God? Like, you mentally, or do you do mental?
We can do mentally, but we also bring in a plate to the altar and put in front of the deity, and then we offer to him. That is the
And then you eat afterwards.
and then we eat afterwards. Yeah. That is the only way we have to purify the chain of karma, is to sacrifice in God's service, right? So
We do also mantra in this case.
we do mantras, yeah. Yes, we do mantras.
What kind of mantra do you do?
There is specific mantras for offerings. Specific mantras for offering.
Can you say?
I can't. Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't.
No.
But there is a very public mantra that is being given for you in this flyer. That is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This mantra is universal and the most powerful mantra. This is the mantra for the age we live now. The Vedas give us this mantra. So your question is pretty much fair and is a common debate. Even the Vedas already brought out this thing because it is a very important thing to understand. But you see, if you do not offer to God, you can't skip. You can make it better, but you cannot skip 100%. Right? So the solution is we have to offer to God.
And the mantra, basically one you can have it once you practice in the Hare Krishna. You will receive the mantra. Or mantra is just you. How can I know the mantra if I come to your?
Oh, it is written there.
I mean the secret.
Oh, you'll be singing all the time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
If you want to learn it, you go to a temple and they will teach you.
Oh, I understood. Okay.
This is what I want to know. How
Nice, very nice. Actually, I came also to invite all of you. We have a very beautiful temple and ashram in Austria, in Vienna. It's just 1.5 hours from here. It's a beautiful place, and we have daily activities. We have a big congregation, and we have a special day for guests that is coming on 19th of April. This is called the Bhakti Day. So if you're interested to come, you can bring a group from here and join us for one full morning activities in the temple, so that you can see, how we do, how we chant, how we worship, and then there is also a lunch, and everything is for free. Okay, we just have to organize ourselves, rent like a type of van or minibus, and then go there and enjoy this very nice Sunday program. It's the 19th of April, is a Sunday, okay, Sunday morning, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
So you can come at any time. If you want to make an excursion, you can prepare that and you can come when it suits you.
Yes. Apart from this program, it is open every day. From 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. it is open every day. And Arjuna Prabhu is there. And this couple also, they are there. And there are many other even sannyasis there, monks there. And there is also all types of people like yourself, students, young or old, Indians, Europeans, whatever. Very beautiful community. We do many, many big cultural programs as well, you know.
I don't have enough, so yes, share.
Yeah, actually, I forgot to bring more flies. It was my mistake, and we only had a few. But anyway, you can take pictures, and you can. We have also websites and Instagram and things, and it's a very beautiful thing. And if you are interested, also, I do mantra sessions. I sing, and we usually do some yogas like studio programs. And now on 31st, we have in Vienna a big program. So you're also welcome to come, and everything is always for free, right? Always for free. Okay. Any more questions? Yes.
I wanted to ask, you were talking about that humans are from nature herbivores, and what about like ethnicities living near a polar circle, like Inuit? They were eating meat for 100
Yeah.
years, and they couldn't harvest or anything. So.
Well, the thing is, why they went to live there, right? No, they were not there. They could be anywhere, right? But because for them to eat meat or not doesn't matter, because we have people eating meat in Brazil, like a tropical country. You have fruits and vegetables growing, and people eating meat, right? So I think that's not the real point why they should or not eat meat because they are there. They are there because they did not find land for them in a nice place because there was already people there. So they have to migrate and move to find a piece of land. That's what made humans go to the most wide and the far places because others were already owning pieces of land, right? So that's what make them going there, and they just adapt themselves in that environment according to their values. But if they would be in a very tropical country, they would be eating meat anyway. You know what I mean? So it is actually nothing to do with the place; it's to do with their nature, the human's nature, right? Their consciousness.
They are living really like maybe for Native Americans in North, they have like no other choice, just hunting animals.
No, but they like it. That's the point. They like it.
Nobody likes it. No.
Well, why not?
Can you mention somebody who likes it?
Well, so many human beings they like killing. They even for sport. They kill. They hunt for sports. No, okay, then okay. It may be, it may be, but yeah. Understood my point. They use this excuse as, oh, because we live in such a place, we have to eat. No, no. The thing is, you could live somewhere else. And if you really want to value, like for example, if you put me in a very life threat situation, I am starving for like a week, and you offer me a piece of beef, very nice, well prepared, with nice seasoning, herbs, very nice smell, I'm not going to eat it because for me that's not food. And if I don't have my food, I will die because that's the natural process for my understanding, for my type of social relations. It's only about personal choices. We can find this excuse, that reason, this reason, but in fact, you have to stand for your values until you die. People have died for their religious beliefs, people have died for many things. I can die for my vegetarian principle and not to, because animals are not food. Not food. You can kill a tree. Can you chew a tree bark? You cannot chew, but you still can kill it. You can also kill an animal and you can chew it. Okay, it's fine, but doesn't matter. This means food for us, right? Any more questions? Yes.
So, but how about like other animal-related products? because like they just don't eat meat, but there are still countless other people that derive from dead animals, like glue, jelly, hair, they're used in
Yes.
basically everyday life.
Yes.
Those.
Yes. We have to avoid as much as possible, huh? Definitely. Like medicine, which is tested in animals, all this chain. For example, we don't use leather. We don't use anything out of leather. I mean, we cannot be hypocrites and try to be completely pure. We cannot be pure. So the carnivores, they have this type of argument. Oh, you are also using many things. Yes, we do it. And this is the reality. But I'm trying my best to minimize this impact. Are you doing it or not? No, you are actually maximizing this impact. So that's the difference between we and them. We try to minimize and we are realistic. Yes, we live in a society which depends on petrol. Everything is made out of plastic. We are destroying nature. Yes, we are doing it. We like computers. We like mobile phones. That destroys everything more than even sometimes animal farm. But we have to be realistic because why? We like it. We need it. We could not live without social media. We could not live without our computers. So the main point is, do not be hypocrite and accept what is your position. Yes, I have many mistakes still. Yes, I am not pure. I'm not advocating everyone to be pure. But we are trying to minimize at least. Can we stop killing the animals? Yes, we can. Okay, let us stop. Next step, can we replace petrol for something else? Yes, let us try that. So gradually we have to, step by step, bring another type of standards, right? But I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not like a ecologist person. I like technology. I am destroying also the planet, and I am conscious about that. But I try my best to do it in a minimum level possible, right?
So they're like not forbidden per se, but you just have to like avoid them as much as possible.
Yes, but as I told him, even if you have a pure life, isolate yourself in the jungle, make your mud house, harvest your fruits, don't do any harm. Still, you are eating karma, and that karma is going to make you born again. So the only solution is to put God at the end of the chain and sacrifice everything to Him, like the fruits. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, offer me the fruits of your labor, and I will purify everything for you. And then you eat the pure food that is called prasadam, right? That's what we eat, food without karma, right? But even that person who is isolated in a very perfect environment, just by picking one fruit, there is karma there. And there is no heaven for that person, because if you have good karma, you have to born again. That's one more key teaching of the Vedas. Not only by bad karma that you're born again, by good karma you're also born. Because karma has to bear fruits. Karma means action. Every action has to bear a reaction, be it good or bad. Right? So that's the difference. And by sacrificing everything we do for God, then we purify all the chain. Even if we make some mistakes in between, there is no way, there is no issue, there is no problem in that. Right? You're not making more karma. Understand? Nice. More question? You have a question. Yes.
When you free yourself from the rebirthing cycle,
Yeah.
right, which is the ultimate goal, after all, to clean yourself from karma, where do you go?
Oh, you can have different destinations. Okay, so the spiritual world has many layers of destination. So, for instance, you can go to the place where Narayana, Lakshmi Narayana are residing. You can go to the place where Sita and Rama are residing. You can go to the place where Shiva and Parvati reside, or to the place where Radha and Krishna reside. These different destinations are there.
And what are you doing there?
You're gonna serve them.
You're spending
whole
eternity.
Yes, whole eternity in that loving relationship and service mood towards your worshipable God.
Okay.
And you have to desire that, of course. You have to prepare yourself to get there. You have to qualify yourself. It's not that you go automatically. Automatically, you're going to take birth again only on Earth planet to
And
continue your karma.
You can move sometimes between the levels, or you are stuck in the
No, you can. In this universe, we have 14 layers of material abodes. Okay, 14. 6 above the earth and 7 below the earth. So with earth in the middle, we have 6 above and 7 below. Below, they have the inferior planets, like the hellish planets, we can say. Above, we have the heavenly planets, which is not God's abode. This heavenly planets means the abode of the demigods or the great yogis, right? They live in a different type of planets. We could say like these planets. So you can go there also. You can go there by doing some specific practices. You can also take birth there. No problem. Right?
May I ask, where would you like to go?
I don't know. I would have to really imagine what each level of the is like looking like.
You see, your question is important because sometimes we think that things will happen automatically, for good or for bad. But in fact, no. In fact, our decision, our consciousness, our desire to reach a specific goal actually is what going to take us there. So before you even decide where you want to go, first you have to understand like who is God, what aspect of God I am attracted to, what aspect of practice. There are many things that before has to be in checklist. Cannot be the final thing first, right? So in that sense, right? Yes?
If you are born in that realm of God, you are actually being God yourself, then?
No, we're not gods. We are not gods. Otherwise, we would not be here, right?
I mean, if you after all the cycles of the death, your life, you get born in the realm of the God, then you are, well,
No,
you are still not.
we are not God. We never will be God.
Never.
Never. We are always individually separated and eternally separated from God, and we are always His servant. So once we enter in His abode, we will be there to be able to be with Him and serve Him. Always service, not identification.
No,
That philosophy is a corrupted idea that it's being propagated as the Vedanta thing, that Atma and Brahma are like the same. But this philosophy is completely,
not acceptable.
no, not at all. Even out of logic.
I like it most.
Of course, because it is very seductive for our ego. Oh, why I should think I am a servant? I should think I am the boss. I should think I am God. Why I'm living this so miserable life? No, it must be something else. This is one type of illusion that we have. But if we would be that Brahma, which is already perfect and eternal, why you had to come?
I kind of think opposite way. I think the way like, if the God is immanent in all space, it has to be also within me. So
Oh, he is within you. That's a fact, but not you.
there cannot be separation.
No, definitely can be. Definitely can be.
No, it's not logical.
According to the Vedas, God has 3 aspects. Bhagavan, which is the form of God, like the supreme personality of God. We have Brahman. Brahman is the effulgence, like the light that emanates from his body. And then we have Paramatma, which is his expansion in the material world, inside of each atom, and also in our heart as a witness. So God, simultaneously, he has these 3 aspects, simultaneously, right? So he's everywhere. Nevertheless, he's having a body also. He's having one only physical body in the spiritual world. And he is within each and every atom, but he's not the atom in itself. He only resides there. And he presides over nature. He presides over this material energy. But he is not the material energy. He is not the material object. This is not God. This is just a computer. It's like a dull matter. Nevertheless, God dwells inside of each atom. So we do not worship the computer. We worship God inside of the computer. Right? Inside of each atom of the existence. Right? So therefore, we are not God. We cannot be God. Otherwise, why God would become deluded by Maya and come to this material world for suffering, for karma, for what?
I mean, for fun, most likely.
I like his mood. Nice. Yes. Hare Krishna. Very nice. But you know, Krishna is very funny. Krishna is definitely very funny. But we have to learn the way he jokes, you know. It's not the way we joke.
It's kind of bittersweet.
Sometimes it's true. But anyway, you please do come visit our ashram there. Thank you so much for your attention today. I'm very happy to meet all of you. And I have one last request. If you all could come here, we could take a group photo. So just for memory. And you can access my YouTube channel. I have more than 800 lectures in this YouTube channel. Also Instagram and many things just to follow. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.